Hello, and thank you for clicking on my channel, Kelly Legends Media. I'm going to do a real quick spiel on a situation that's been coming across social media on YouTube regarding a warning that was given. I'm sure a lot of you have seen it on the other channels. A lot of other channels have done things, have done videos about this. There was a warning issued out. We're not sure where the warning came from. We don't know who sent it out. That's still unclear. But apparently they believe it was from the Tortilla Flats gang in Compton. And basically, it was a warning to the blacks in Compton, indicating that there was a green light being issued. And I guess this notice came out around the same time where these three ladies were shot by a certain individual. Those details are sketchy too. Um, I'm sure everything's going to get cleared up once there's enough people that get involved and get to digging into this. But there's a couple of channels that just took off with this information and started stirring the pot. One of them was one that I watched early this morning by Damian Porter, who has a channel called The Insider. You could go back and watch the video. It was either released earlier today or it was released yesterday. I'm not sure. But it's one of his most current videos. And he, yeah, he's hot. He's on a good one. Basically, he's like, if anything happens to anybody in our neighborhood, we're kicking down doors, we're unliving the whole family, we're gonna kill, the grass in your yard, the cats, the dogs, the birds that land on your trees. Crazy stuff. A call to all blacks, uh, worldwide, as far as his voice can reach, to put down your weapons and pick them back up and be posted for this big war. You know, first of all, if there was an actual green light, there'd already be some activity, man. There'd be some shit happening. Nobody's gonna sit back and one day, 2 day goes by. No, when it's issued, people are gonna take flight, and it would have already been obvious that that's probably very much the truth. But nobody issues a green light from no neighborhood in Southern California that's a blanket green light. Those green lights come only from one place, and they're not issued on social media. Okay, so obviously this is some kind of a bullshit. Obviously. Okay, Tortilla Flats don't have the palabra to speak to the gangs in Southern California and say that we're gonna get off on the blacks in Compton. They don't got that. That kind of green light only comes one way, and that ain't the way it's gonna come if it ever does come. But you know, there's been a lot of videos lately from the different brothers that have channels. About, well, mostly about dubs. And but other content creators too that talk about anybody or anything that has to do with the black man. I think there's some oversensitivity there. Of course, I know that the black race has been persecuted and treated wrongly more than and longer than anybody that I know, any other race that I could think of. But there were other races too that were treated fall. The Aztec race was treated fall in Mexico. When the Spaniards came over, it's just been all over the world. Things like this happen, but it seems like the brothers really hang on to this, and preach it, and it's part of their upbringing and education, in the gang communities and prison, and who knows, maybe just in the family. I don't know, but I think there's some oversensitivity on anything that's said. It's taken apart, and you know, oh no, no, we're not like this. No, 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 we're not like that. there's people in every race that do some shady, shoddy shit, and that's just the way it is. All prison yards aren't the same, aren't ran the same. Things happen that are unbelievable. Things happen different in the feds than in the state. There's all kinds of things. People tell their story, something that they seen themselves, something that they experience, and it's like, oh no, we wouldn't allow that. It go up, and you just don't know unless you're there, and maybe people even might make some bad calls where there should be a different response, but there wasn't. But that doesn't mean that people are lying on the black community. You know, everything's taken apart, and there's always some kind of ruckus about they're talking about us again, or that this isn't true, and we're like this and like that. That video from Damian Porter that was put out, man, he was really staring up the people, man. He made some threats that if anything happened to anybody in his neighborhood, that doors were going to be kicked down, families were going to be unalive. He was going to be on the front lines, and all of this. All of this talk is unnecessary. Everybody knows that if you go into a neighborhood and attack that neighborhood, black, brown, any neighborhood in California, there's going to be retaliation. You don't have to put it out on social media. You don't have to make threats on social media. You do what you do. And I'm sure this man, Damian Porter, man, he's very well educated in politics. He should know better than anybody any other black guy on YouTube. He should know better. The guy's very, very well educated on Southern politics as well as black politics. And things just don't go down like this. The Pyrus have been going at it with tortilla flats. They're going to continue to beef. Uh, they don't want peace. They made that very clear. It's not an attack on the black man. This is a gang issue, and the way that it's perceived as a racial issue is because it's a Chicano gang, and it's a black gang that are going at it. You know, there's racist people all over this world. There's Mexicans that are racist. There's black people that are racist. There's white people. There's just racists everywhere. There's racism is very, very much alive in America. But not everybody's like that. Not everybody feels that way. And this thing about people trying to keep the black man from uniting and all of this, and I don't know. I don't see it. I think that the biggest problem the black man has uniting is the black man. You guys have trouble getting and keeping it together. Just like in my neighborhood. You know, we're all the same race, man. We have problems being united. I'm talking about the Maravillas. It is what it is. But that's one crazy video. Damon Porter always preaches stay free, but there seems to be some kind of underlying anger and pride in the violence and the things that uh, the way people respond in prison or even in the streets, to things like them crossing out that Lamar mural. I did a video on that. Some guy from Tortilla Flats got in the comment section and said, "Hey, man, that you know what? That wasn't racial. That was gang. That was gang pedo. That was a gang activity. It had nothing to do with race." So I don't know. I think this notice that was sent out is some type of hoax, man. So somebody just threw something out there. I don't know. It's too ridiculous. Who would do that? And I'm sure that these black women that got shot, these three black women that got shot. Um, I've been looking for it in the news, some type of report on that. I haven't seen it. I'd like to know more about it. But if that happened, I'm sure it was under different circumstances. And if it was an attack on those women for a racist agenda, they're going to be dealt with accordingly. You know, you don't go after women, you don't target women or children, and everybody knows that. You know, it's just not accepted. It's frowned upon, and consequences are as dire and severe as they can get. So yeah, I don't know who's behind all of this, but I think they got their own agenda. But this ain't the first time that I heard the term green light used. The same thing happened here in my neighborhood, where a person that's involved with all of the apartments and the homelessness going on and placing these homeless people into the apartments here in East LA and in Maravilla, heard that there was a green light on one of her apartments, on the blacks in her apartments. It wasn't true. Somebody threw it out there and they ran with it, and then everybody's walking around with, with their head on a swivel, you know, and it was uncalled for and unnecessary. I think this is the same situation. If there was a righteous green light put out on the blacks in Compton, there'd already be activity. Damien also mentioned about the black kids that were harmed back in the days when there was a green light on the blacks and they were at war, when there was racial war down there, and how there was some black kids that were unalive, and it's true. But there was also some Mexican kids that were unalive, and even some Oriental people that were unalive, some Filipinos. You know, it went both ways. You know, both sides got out of hand and went too far. It's always like that. It's always like that. But I think everybody's jumping the gun. Everybody's getting all excited for nothing. Trust me, if there was a green light, it was a righteous green light, uh, it'd already be on and cracking, and it'd be verified and bona fide, and it'd be on and cracking for real. So all of this loud talk and call to arms and all that, that's all unnecessary, man. This social media is going to do more harm to the Mexican and black community than any other thing in existence right now, man. Because it comes across sometimes as being legit, and really it's just people running with things that they hear or see, or and there's some people that do stupid things. They plot and plan and throw something out there just to stir up some shit and see what comes back. And I think that's what that warning was. Something, maybe somebody heard somebody say that Tortilla Flats put a green light on the blacks in Compton. And who knows? Maybe within their barrio, maybe they did put a green light on the black men from the Pyrus and Bloods, like, hey, on site, man, you take them out. I don't know. But as far as women and children, I doubt very much. Even they would know better than that. So I think all of that talk's uncalled for. Damien mentioned, you have like my 17-year-old homies. Hey, 17-year-old little brothers and nephews that join gangs, they signed up for it. If they're a Pyru and they have fellow with tortilla flats and they're 17 years old and they're banging, hey, that 17-year-old could take one of them tortilla flats or a carload of them out easily. You know, and there's that they're in it to win it. And so were the guys from Tortilla Flats. So you can't say, "Oh, yeah, they get one of our little cousins or nephews," and no, man, that's not how it works, Damien. If there's some kind of gang warfare, uh, that's what it is. It's not a racial. war. It's a gang war. So let's keep things in the proper perspective. And if Tortilla Flats wants to push that line, that's on them. But they know that even in doing that within their own neighborhood, that they are rules of engagement, and if they step out of line, there's consequences that can't be uh, can't be taken back and fixed. You know, they're final consequences. So I'm sure these guys know it, man. And yeah, I think everybody needs to calm down, chill out, and give this some time, and let the people who have palabra, who have weight in their words, talk to who they need to talk to, and get down to the bottom of this. And I'm sure it'll all clear up. Anyways, that's my spill on what's been going on between the blacks and the Hispanics on YouTube and in Compton and everywhere else. Right here in my neighborhood, just the other day, uh, a black dude. I pulled up into the liquor store parking lot, and a black dude taking off with this little Mexican girl's bike. Dude was like 6'6", 6'5", big dude. I'm 6 foot. He was bigger than me, much bigger. This little girl like came up to like close to my belly button. She was hanging onto the back of the seat, man, crying her eyes out, yelling at him to let go of her bike. And he's like, "Let go of the bike, bitch!" Talking to the little girl. Just that was probably the last thing he said before he got cracked. But my point is that wasn't the blacks attacking the Mexicans. That was one individual idiot that was stealing a bike, and the little girl caught him. You know, and he got dealt with accordingly. And you know, I talked to some people that live here in the neighborhood, and you know that's the second situation that's come up here in our neighborhood. And this kind of things can be tolerated. But that doesn't mean that we're gonna involve everybody and attack all the blacks in East Los Angeles. You know what I mean? But people are gonna get started getting dealt with harshly. And not be welcomed in certain places. Be turned around, and it's gonna be uncomfortable living. And the last thing we need is to cause more division among the human race. So let's knock all this off, man. Let's respond to things that need to be responded to, not to some bullshit that comes out on social media that isn't verified, or nothing has happened yet. And all of a sudden it's like, you know, everybody grab your shit, and let's get ready for this, and we're gonna go and kick down doors and unalive families, and come on, relax. You know, uh, I don't think this man actually really wants to start that, because the fear factor's been removed from all of us. We've all become numb to fear. We don't care. If somebody gets hurt, there's going to be consequences. Everybody knows it. You don't have to spit that shit all out on social media. Everybody knows. You cross certain lines, you're going to get cracked. You cross serious lines, who knows, man? You might be pushing daisies. You never know. You know, uh, Homeboy seems to be wanting all kinds of people put to sleep for violations that they've done to different people from the black community. You know, um, I keep that off social media, man. Uh, a lot was said. A lot was said. It's not a matter of whether his video gets monetized or not. It's a matter of who's really listening to all of this, and who really hears all of these things. So let's everybody calm down, man, and just take a deep breath, and let's just keep our eyes and ears open, and I'm sure that this isn't as serious as everybody thinks. Trust me, if it was a righteous green light, it'd be on and cracking. This won't be no social media war of words. So let's everybody take it easy, and let's take it one step at a time. Thank you for watching and for being patient. This is my opinion only, and my spiel about what's going on right now with the blacks and the Mexicans and certain channels and certain content creators that keep bringing up beef with brown and black and we're not like that, and this one's talking about us, and this, man, there's some oversensitivity here, man. I know that black people have been badly persecuted and mistreated, and I seen it even growing up. It was still going on, and they're not the only ones, but they got the worst end of it, you know. But I don't know, man. I just don't think it's like that anymore. Not as bad as it was. Yeah, there's still racism. There's still racism towards Mexicans, towards poor people on welfare, towards blacks, towards, there's all kinds of people behaving on different things. But racism is very, very real. Hatred is even more real, But let's try to keep it off the social media thing, and rally and not be rallying the troops, and causing a bunch of havoc when there's really hasn't been no reason to up to this point. I'm sure things will get figured out and straightened out. Anyways, thank you for watching, and like I said, this is only my opinion, and I'd like to hear yours. Go ahead, get in the comment section, and let me know what you think. I'm sure there's going to be an array of feelings about this. I'm sure of it. People think different and process information differently and have different experiences and experience with things you know, of this magnitude and of this nature. Anyways, like I said again, thank you for watching, and God bless you, your family. Stay strong, keep your head up, and stay free.